first day at International Enlightenment. So we're running a little bit behind, so we're going to kick things off.
It's a project that I'm really excited about. I started shooting it, I think, about a year and a half ago, and I shot it over the course of 12 months, and now I'm sort of, in the throes of post-production. I think travelling generally opens your mind, I think most of us travel because you're wanting to learn more about the world, and if you're interested in being a filmmaker, I think, when you travel, you have new experiences, you meet new people, you just find stories, and although you can do all that from Melbourne or wherever you're based locally, I guess I guess you're more inclined to, you have a heightened experience when you travel. So I guess having had all those experiences and putting myself out of my comfort zone, I guess, because you're doing that, I guess it maybe makes me a bit more of a risk taker in terms of, as a filmmaker now locally in Melbourne, I don't just wait for things to happen, I kind of go out and make them happen.
It's really important to not be presumptuous, you're not, you're coming in as a guest, and I suppose just being respectful of other cultures and taking a little bit of a back seat and just, being aware of differences and not
close to those differences.
Not close to those differences, not trying to impose your own values, I suppose, on another culture and these kind of what are sort of foreign situations for you.
I was an international student myself, and I just thought that there are a lot of international students here in Australia. There really wasn't someone or somewhere actually where students could talk about a lot of their issues and also to find something that was suited to them. And I thought, why not open up a platform where we can provide content and stories for international students, and then on the other hand as well to give media students like myself an opportunity to publish and to create a real portfolio. And a big part of, I guess, what we're trying to do as well, I think, as students, when you go out, you always call people and go, "Hi, I'm a student journalist. Can I interview you for a story?" And I think with, creating a real organisation was really the push to say, well, to take away the L plate and to really call someone up and go, "Hi, I'm a reporter for this magazine, and I'm here to do an interview," and to sort of be on the same beat as everyone else from the industry, but I guess provide a safe environment as well for you to make mistakes and learn along the way. And a lot of times I think they forget that, being an international person means that you have, a cultural context that maybe, other people don't have. And that's something that you should use to your advantage. I think a lot of students are afraid that, maybe I can't speak English as well, maybe my language abilities aren't as strong, but you do have a second language, and that's really quite important, especially in a globalized world. I'm useless when I try to pick up the phone and try and do an interview, but I've got students who manage to do that, and they find stories through the Chinese social media networks like Weibo, and they break stories, and they've been really amazing.
Excellent. So.
Sounds a little bit daggy, but I think something that's sort of internationally valued is just hard work and not being too precious about what you're willing and not willing to do. I think when I finished university, like Olivia, I moved to London, and that was my first experience working in an office. And I wasn't working in the arts; it was very much admin based. But coming back to Melbourne, getting my first job in a gallery, just having those skills was a huge advantage. A lot of my fellow sort of graduates hadn't had that sort of real life office experience. But thinking more recently on residencies as well, just showing a willingness to kind of get your hands dirty and like I say, not being too precious about the kind of work that you think you should be doing as a curator.
Terrific.
Can I add to that your own opportunities, but I think it's important that you don't put yourself above any opportunity is an opportunity, and whether you're just picking up actors or whether you're organising the catering, it's always an opportunity to meet people. So yeah, never say no to anything. You know, if you're destined to move up, you will. You know, people skills, you have to be a communicator, you have to be absolutely, you know, obsessive about creating, you know, your work. And I think the great thing about film and TV production is there is a huge amount of different types of roles, and you might be better suited to being a production manager or a camera operator or a costume designer. You know, there's so many different avenues. So, you know, rather than be fixed on this idea that you are destined to be a famous director, think about what the different roles within film and TV production. And, you know, maybe you're really technical, maybe you'd be an amazing, you know, gaffer, you know, who knows? But I think keeping an open mind and really trying to work out what's your personality and the way you work, what kind of role you're suited to. Some of you are studying overseas, you know, I think it's hard. These days it's easier to stay in touch. But if you have got a partner, I'd say try and do it together if you can. Find someone, you know, if that's possible, if that's not possible, then you just have to commit to a period of time that you're comfortable with and say, I'm going to go to this place for 3 months, 6 months, we're going to stay in regular concerts, blah, blah. I've got a tip, and that's just to be yourself. And it sounds cliche, but don't try and be someone else. Don't try and be impressive or serious or, you know, creative, inverted commas. There's only one person like you, and that's the only product you can sell. You are yourself. And if people want to work with you, you want them to work with you for the person you are, because you can never sustain an image of being someone else. And I think, especially as a filmmaker too, try and look for stories or tell stories that resonate with you, again, rather than try to, you know, please this fictitious audience. Look out for stories that you know, resonate for you, and in that way I think you'll end up with much more, you know, work that other people are interested in, just because people will be interested in what you've got to say. So yeah, just be yourself in all instances. So I think